Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here, welcome back to the channel for an on-chain metrics update on Bitcoin. So I just wanted to dive through a few charts with you very quickly. So let's start off with the Bitcoin active addresses. Now for the past week or so, the active addresses have been pushing up and up and up and up. For the past year really, you can see every single time we come down, we're making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and it seems like we are in an upwards trajectory looking to take a huge run to the upside very soon. Now why this is important, if you didn't know, the Bitcoin active addresses basically trade the exact same as the Bitcoin price. When there's a lot of senders and receivers in the network, there's typically a lot of sellers, so you can see, huge spike in active addresses correlates to the 2018 top, Bitcoin top over here, and Bitcoin top over here, correlated to one big quadruple top over in this range. Then we broke down, came up to the all-time high over here, and you can see active addresses were running up as Bitcoin was topping out over in this area. So Bitcoin active addresses running up at this moment in time is definitely not a bullish signal. Sometimes you can make a case if the active addresses are going up, hey, network adoption is increasing, there's more addresses, there's more people in the Bitcoin network as a whole, but this is why we're going to come over to the Bitcoin NVT ratio, because this will clear up that confusion. So when we do look at the Bitcoin NVT ratio, this is the network value to transaction ratio. This basically shows us what it says over here. It is the Bitcoin price divided by the Bitcoin trading volume, and this gives us the network's value to transaction ratio. Now you can see over here a high NVT ratio suggests that Bitcoin is overvalued, and the NVT ratio tends to go in the opposite direction of the Bitcoin price. So why this is important is, if we saw a lot of new smaller addresses come into the network, we wouldn't see a high NVT ratio. When we have a high NVT ratio, this is indicative that we're seeing clusters of the same people transacting large amounts of monetary value in US dollars over on the Bitcoin network. So when we are looking at this, you can see huge spike in the NVT. Price continued to roll to the downside. I'm also going to show you an advanced NVT signal, which sometimes pretty much accurately calls the exact top. However, a lot of the time this is a lagging indicator, and you can see there was a top over in the NVT here. It didn't call the exact top over here, but we did continue to break down. You can see there was a top in the Bitcoin price over here, and as the Bitcoin price was running to the downside, there were many bear market rallies back in 2018, like this one over here, where the NVT kept on running up and up and up and up, and at this tipping point of the NVT having a huge run to the upside, the Bitcoin US dollar price started to break back down to the downside. So you can see, spike, breakdown, spike, breakdown. You can see a spike over here, and we did break down, but this was also a black swan event, so I won't be taking this data point into consideration. You can also see a huge spike up in the NVT over here at 47,000. Of course, like I said, bit of a lagging indicator. This one was a little bit premature. Bitcoin did continue to push up a little bit more before breaking back down to the downside, but right now the NVT ratio is the absolute highest that it's ever been, meaning, as you can read over here, the Bitcoin network, according to the NVT ratio, is the most overvalued it's been ever. So, once again, not my words, this is just in the words of the NVT and how it's defined. Also, if we do come over to the advanced NVT signal, what's interesting is if we really focus on this moving average right here, this red one, you can see a lot of the time these huge run-ups, it ran up a little bit further over here in accordance to this over here, this spike over here. But what's interesting is you can see this huge massive spike here did call the top before, of course, breaking back down. Over here you can see this moving average absolutely exploded to the upside, and as it started to come back down, this is when the Bitcoin price started to come back down and make its final low. If we zoom into the top over in 2021, you can see once again didn't exactly call it, but it more or less exactly called the top over here. It was off by a week or so, 2 weeks. More like a month or so, but you can really see when this advanced NVT signal started to top out, then that was a sign that Bitcoin was going to roll back down to the downside. Once again, if we remove all of these moving averages, you're actually seeing this one literally take a huge monumental rush to the upside right now. This is the main takeaway from the NVT. It is absolutely pushing up to all-time highs. Literally every couple of days or so, this is pushing up to a higher valuation. Very indicative that, once again, while active addresses are pushing up, this is not a sign of network adoption. There's not new addresses really coming into this network, although we are seeing, a lot of new shrimp wallets in terms of the addresses with more than one Bitcoin. We're seeing some people like this come into the network. However, as a whole, the NVT being extremely overextended is indicative that we're not seeing that much new network adoption in comparison to the volume that's being transacted in the network, which is a bearish signal. So finishing up on what's happening with the retail wallets and the whale wallets, there's really not too much to update, so I won't spend too long on this. Retail is still accumulating. I've said this many times on the channel. They haven't done the best job of navigating this cycle. You can see over here at $11,000, they actually started to sell into the initial rally. They didn't do anything while the price was going up, and then when Bitcoin was pretty much double topping out, they started to buy at 40,000 or so. Who did they start to buy from? They started to buy from the smart money who were buying the entire rally and sold at 46,500. Now, since then, like I said, there is really not too much to update in terms of what the whales are doing, what the retail's doing. There's a lot of stagnation happening right now. Every now and then you can see, if I reset this zoom one more time, every now and then you can see that the whales are selling a tiny bit. Like the lows over here were 2040 wallets holding more than 1,000 Bitcoin, and then over here we came down to 2037, over here 2036. I believe we came down to 2035 on one of these data points, but you get my gist. Really, we are absolutely having a stagnation right now and a tug of war between the retail wallets and the whale wallets. So, in my opinion, I'd much rather be holding the rope on the side of the whales. And right now, the whales are still not buying. We're seeing a lot of signals that the Bitcoin network is overextended at this moment in time. Just wanted to get a pre-recorded update out for you. This is going to be recorded on Saturday and uploaded for you on Sunday, so you have some content while I am away from the market. So I look forward to getting back in the swing of, more uploads coming into next week. But for today, my friends, that's all I've got. Hope you enjoyed the on-chain metrics update. As always, if you enjoy the content, let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. And if you do want more of my posts, charts, memes, economic data, all that good stuff, be sure to head over to my Twitter at 618_cowboy. But for today, that's all I've got. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.